Hello everybody and welcome to day 67 of my 365-day iPhone video challenge. It is the Sunday Omnibus. It has been a week of highs and lows. The week started off great, working in Paris. Had a great time, and then we've had computer crashes and loss of passwords. So my tip was to definitely invest in a password manager of some sort. And we've also been talking about Lencioni. So we'll go through it very quickly. I've got some notes because I'm finding it hard to remember everything I said. So on Monday, we did the 3 really powerful questions. And when you're running a team offsite, or even, and you could use these 3 questions around performance review time. You could run these 3 questions around team building exercises. You could run these questions around short-term goals, quarterly or annual reviews. And the 3 questions are: what's the biggest priority for you right now? What's the biggest priority for the team right now? And what would success look like for you over the next, over this offsite, or over the next quarter, or for the next year? And what's amazing is, when you ask the team leader those 3 questions and you ask members of the team, you sometimes get radically different answers. And you also see major differences between people who share teams, i.e. they lead teams. So as team leaders, they give different answers to the members of their team. But if they're on an executive board and part of a team, they seem to always forget that they're part of a team and give radically different answers as well. Again, so something to think about. The next day, we talked about the 5 dysfunctions of a team, and they are, from Lencioni's book: absence of trust, fear of conflict, lack of commitment, avoidance of accountability, and inattention to results. And they all flow from each other, and they all start with the absence of trust. And teams who don't trust each other, who can't be vulnerable to each other, who can't admit mistakes to each other, who don't like to ask for help, don't provide constructive feedback because they don't want to offend anyone, and they don't want to get into an awkward or uncomfortable situation. They hesitate to provide support out of their own areas of speciality. So the head of marketing doesn't want to get involved with helping sales or helping HR, doesn't want wants to protect his team. They jump to conclusions about the aptitude of others, and that was called the fundamental attribution error, where you look at someone who delivers late, for example, and you believe that's a character flaw. When you deliver late, that's because of external factors. It's a bit like, the classic one is the BMW drivers. When the BMW driver cuts you up on the road, it's because you believe they're a git. I was trying to be polite, but when you cut someone up on the road, it's because you were late and you were sorry and you didn't mean to, and you were running and trying to get to your grandmother's birthday party or something like that. So it's that fundamental attribution error is a big issue, and also if people don't trust each other, they fail to ask for help and tap into the experience of the team, and maybe that team would have some good experience. So that was that day, and then we talked about teams who do trust each other. They do admit their weaknesses. When they make mistakes, they do ask for help. They do ask for questions. They do provide proper constructive feedback, and they take risks in offering it, because there's a risk in taking feedback, but there's also a risk in offering it. They focus their time and energy on important issues. They will focus on those issues that may be difficult, that may be hard, but they will focus on them. And they look forward to meetings. Teams who don't trust each other, who don't speak up in meetings, who don't want to, don't care about anyone else's team, don't care about the other areas of speciality, they don't look forward to meetings because they'd rather be back at work. And to foster trust, Lencioni recommends an offsite, and he recommends doing a psychological profiling, whether it's DISC or MBTI, the personal histories exercise, which I won't go through here, but if you go and look back on Friday, day 65, I believe it is, that goes through that exercise. And then finally, we had about conflict. Now, because if teams don't trust each other, there is a fear of conflict. And what fear of conflict normally means is people don't say anything. They like to be nice to each other, but they don't really say how they really feel about an issue. And sometimes that can bubble up for quite a while, and then that issue becomes personality-based rather than issue-based. It then becomes the person becomes the problem rather than the issue. Conflict should be quick. It should be everyone should if they trust each other, they should be able to say what they like. It should be the quickest way to solve the problem, and they should feel safe in raising issues. It means that if there isn't a fear of conflict, you minimise politics, you put political topics on the table, and you will always feel uncomfortable, but that's okay. The leader will help with that. That is the week that was. I will see you tomorrow. Wrap up warm. It's dark out and cold out there. Bye-bye.